Hello everyone, welcome to Donna's Happy Hour. I want to thank you for joining me. I have an amazing lineup for you today. There is Chris Bolger. I can't tell you how much I love his work. He's going to be doing some original music. And then we have the comedic genius of Joe Berte. Joe and Chris will be doing a skit, as well as I'm going to be introducing Madame de Voodoo. So grab your drink, whatever it may be, because I'm hoping you're going to spend the next hour with me.
I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld the nearest sight. My monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise, it hit the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash.
Are you bothered by monstrous mood swings? Does the stress of your job have you biting your family's heads off? Then have no fear. Monster Relief is here. If you call within the next 15 minutes, we are offering a free 30-day trial. And don't be afraid to take more than one pill. They are nutritious, delicious, and gluten-free. They come in 3 scrumptious, scary flavors. Garlic to ward off vampires, sage to ward off evil spirits, and our best seller yet, hot torched jalapeno, to rid the Frankenstein in you. So, call now, Transylvania 65000, and get your free trial of Monster Relief.
Well, thank you so much, Chris, again, for joining me on Donna Camp's Happy Hour. As you know, this is my first show.
Wow.
And so I was really looking at and I was really looking forward to having you. I always look forward to seeing you. And you know, I heard that you've been working on some new music.
Oh, yes.
And you also helped Don. Don Oriolo is actually a good friend of Chris and mine, who is an unbelievable artist. His dad was one of the creators of Felix the Cat and Casper the Ghost, but Don in his own right is an amazing musician, artist. He also actually makes guitars, or he has a company. I shouldn't say he makes the guitars, but it's Oriolo.
Well, he designs them.
He does. See,
he designs them. I mean,
that.
You know, and having been a working musician since he was really in his teens,
right?
You know, he has a lot of ideas about
how they should.
Most people that build them, you know, well, why can't they do this? You know, why can't I have this? Why can't I have that?
Right.
Why can't, you know? And so he's in a position where he was able to make them the way he wants.
Make it happen. That's great.
And
That's wonderful.
And then also brings his artist side to them too. They're always interesting looking guitars.
Right, they are. Yeah, I've seen a few. Actually, what I'm going to have to do is have him on the show and bring.
Oh yeah.
Several of his guitars, because you know, I know when he was on Carl's show, I don't think he ever really brought.
I think one time he might have brought a Helix, which is kind of his flagship acoustic guitar. But you know, I have one with me tonight called the Rockabilly, and that's a real cool looking thing. And,
yeah,
should we go get it?
Yeah. Why not?
This one's here. This is my acoustic. This is Blondie.
This Blondie.
This is the Rockabilly. And
neat. I never ever learned how to play guitar. Well, you know, have nails.
You don't want to cut the nails.
I don't want to cut the nails. Don't want to get the calluses. That's why I went to the cone.
There you go.
So anyway, this is a beauty.
Yeah.
And it's
cool.
not
Or?
No.
It's
Well,
nice.
that's a
light.
hollow body, and it does pull
There you
double
go.
duty as an acoustic and an electric. You know,
Oh.
it has a pickup and all that. But sounds nice.
Yeah, it
It's
does
not as
sound
loud
nice.
as this one because this one has a real big body and all that.
And now let me ask you. Now, did you put the stickers on, or that
No,
comes, that can see.
this particular. There's a couple of different versions of this.
Okay.
Of the rockabilly, and this one has the decals, but there's another one that doesn't have decals, but it has a whammy bar on it.
Okay.
And,
Oh wow. All right.
That's a cool guitar too.
Now, does Don make only a certain amount of that particular rockabilly, or
Some
you know?
some guitars he makes in larger quantities than others.
Okay.
You know, some of the guitars are very high end, and they're only going to have a limited number of people who can go there.
Right.
The Bag of Tricks is kind of the flagship of the electric guitars, and
Okay.
you know, there's if you've seen any of the pictures of us playing, it's that big yellow guitar with,
Yes.
and it's got the design like the Bag of Tricks, Felix's Bag
Right.
of Tricks.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
That's a cool looking
That
guitar.
is a cool looking guitar. Yeah. Yeah.
It's got Felix's head on the top.
Yeah. That is a great guitar.
Rick Nielsen has one of those.
Okay.
He's a big guitar collector, and so does Todd Rundgren.
Okay. Oh wow.
He also built Todd Rundgren's guitar.
I know he did. Yeah,
12
didn't it?
electric
12?
12 string,
Yes,
yeah.
that's
Called
what
the
I
Wizard.
Oh,
Yeah.
called the Wizard. Oh, great! Wow. That's well. We're gonna have to get Don out here with all his guitars and stuff too. But before we do anything more,
Yes.
we have to toast.
Oh, let's have toast.
Let's have a toast. All right, to what? Good music, good friends, and
Good
long
times.
life and good times. There we go.
Hear, hear.
There we go. Wow. Whoa. Okay.
I was thirsty, Don.
I guess you were. I'm gonna have to be picking him up off the floor. Oh my goodness. But that's okay. Creative, comes juices
Creative
flow.
license.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the official line anyway.
Yeah, right. That's right. So I did want to show. This is and let me get this right because I folded it up wrong.
Oh, there you go.
This is a CD that Chris, and by the way, this is Chris Bolger, and this is a CD that he's been working on called Nez, and the group is Nez Rock.
Right. It's really my friend Chris Korzen, who we've been friends since 1981.
Wow.
And he doesn't live in this area anymore. He lives down in Florida, but he actually helped me with the artwork on my CD because he's a commercial artist, and that kind of set in motion the beginnings of the recordings for his CD.
Okay.
Which has me on several tracks, and Dennis Dyken, who's a dear friend of ours, did pretty much all the drumming on it.
Wow.
And we recorded some of it in New Jersey, and some of it he did down in Florida.
Oh.
And actually, some of the stuff was, there's a guest guy on there named Van Duren, who's a great power pop guy.
That name sounds so familiar.
Yeah,
to
he
me.
was part of that whole Memphis. There was everybody knows the Memphis soul scene. Not so many people know that there was also a big pop scene. Big Star, which influenced a whole bunch of the pop bands in the 80s and 90s. They were out of Memphis. Tommy Hohen and then Van Duren. And so he's got a really angelic voice. Sounds a little bit like Paul McCartney. But he's a great
interesting.
songwriter.
Oh wow.
And we actually do one song that he co-wrote, Van Duren, with Jody Stevens of Big Star.
Okay.
That's one of the things that's on there,
neat.
called Andy Please.
Well, I'm going to open this up so maybe they can take a look, and you can tell me who else and
Who we got there?
Yeah, who we got here.
Okay. Here we go. That's Fernando. That's Diane. Diane is a pianist, and she is Chris's wife.
Okay.
That's me and Chris Korzen and Dennis Dyken, who's a dear, dear friend.
Okay.
Hopefully we're going to get to be doing some more music together, me and Dennis. Right now, he's busy with the Smithereens. He's also been touring with Ronnie Spector and Dave Davies. So
Okay.
he's a very much in demand kind of guy.
Okay, wow.
Kostaden is the engineer that we
Okay.
worked with.
Okay.
Let's see what else we got there.
You got to make those glasses.
That's Van Duren.
Okay.
Joe Howell, who's a longtime friend of Chris's, childhood friend,
Oh, wow.
great bass player.
Oh, really? I'll turn it to you, make it
Yeah,
easier.
that does make it easier. Yeah, so that's kind of the crew,
Wow,
you know.
that's great.
Dave Amos is there somewhere. Keyboard whiz, electronics genius.
Really?
He plays with Mary Weiss from the Shangri-Las.
Oh, okay.
And he also plays in a group called Raining Sound, who are also out of Memphis.
What's the name of them?
Raining Sound. Mary Weiss
Okay.
actually did a record with them,
Okay, all right,
but
'cause
they're famous in their own right.
Okay, yeah, because that's why it rang a bell
Rings
to
a
me.
bell, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, great band.
Well, we're going to, hopefully, right, we're going to try to play one of these songs, which is the one that you co-wrote
The
called...
one that I co-wrote, yes, it's called Dream Away, and actually Dennis Dykin does the lead vocal on that,
Oh,
which
no
is kind
kidding.
of different.
That'll be interesting. And so, I mean, is there anything you'd like to play? Just
you?
off the...
Could be. Let's put this down. This guy.
And if you ever are in the tri-state area, you have to come and see Chris play. When I say him and Don and all the band members, because there's always different band people playing, they just rock the place, and we always have a blast. It's fantastic, and you tend to play a lot in the New
Sussex
Jersey,
area.
Sussex area.
Sussex, Warwick.
Right.
That seems to be kind of the center of things. I mean,
Right.
Don lives in Wantage.
Right.
And Blue Arrows in Warwick, Pine Island,
Right.
and
Yeah.
played Warwick Winery a lot. And
Yes.
around,
And you
that's-
played at Warwick Winery last
Yeah, we were just
weekend.
there. Yeah, last weekend.
I couldn't
It was
get
a
there.
nut house. It was so much fun.
I heard it was. I can't tell you. My brother flew in,
Right.
which I'm going to play it for you because my brother sings. And so what happened was, I guess one of the guys that he went to school with said, "Come on, I'm going to have a party." Before you knew it, Tina was there. Tina actually
Oh, yeah?
played at the party.
Tina Whiskey Crossing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no clue she was going to be there, and I didn't even know I was going to be
See,
there.
it's a small
really.
world.
It's a very small world, and
After all.
and unfortunately, so between that party and I had my class reunion, which we won't ask what year, and what else? And then the party the next day, I couldn't get. I was trying to drag
Burn the
everybody over
candle.
to the wine. Yeah, it just wasn't going to happen. Not enough hours in the day. But yeah, so all right, so yeah, here we go. I love being
There's a new batch of songs. This is one of them.
okay.
I could talk to you for hours. Time just flies when I'm with you. Even when I dream you're there with me, making me laugh with the things you say and do. Seems like whenever you're around, doesn't matter where we are, everything just melts away. I am lost in the stars, I don't care where we go. don't care where we go, and I don't care what we do. Just say let's go when we're on our way. I'd go anywhere with you. No, I don't care where we go, and I don't really care what we do. Just say let's go and we're on our way. I'd go anywhere with you. I'd go anywhere with you. I'd go anywhere with you.
Chris, that was beautiful. Woo! All right, thank you. Oh my God.
Thank you very much.
That's a beautiful song. Love it. Well, you know, I have to, and you know that I love. I'm telling you, you have to go buy Chris's CD, and it's Chris Bolger, right?
Yes.
And if you haven't done it, do it, because every single song is fantastic, and really I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I just love every song.
I'm blushing.
But anyway, well, that's the drink doing that. No.
Oh, that must be, yeah.
But I do, yeah, really. Oh, yeah.
There we go.
No, I knew better than to fill that up for you. But no, I really, really mean it. So again, Chris Bolger, we're gonna try and I guess maybe sound. We're gonna give it a go and play Dream. What? Dream Away.
Dream Away.
Dream Away.
Dream Away is off of the CD, if we can find it.
Let's
Track
rock.
number 4.
Yes.
And
number
that's
4.
a co-write between me and Chris, and with Dennis Dyken on lead vocals, who's, one of the big things, he does background vocals with the Smithereens, but he also, when he plays with Dave Davies,
Dreams under cover of night always shine a light off screen. It seems your mind knows where it should be. Unencumbered reality. Dreams never lie. Follow them all night. You'll hear if you only listen. Dreams never die. Follow them for resolution. Dream away. Believe, maybe then you will see. Cinematic scenes of how it will be.
can fade it down.
Yeah, I was going to say. Thank you. You know, it's so funny. Once you start to learn Chris's style, I could see where
What's me and
what you're in.
somebody else.
Yes, absolutely. What
Yeah.
your influence in probably certain parts of that
sure.
song. You know.
Oh, absolutely.
And then what I am going to ask
Uh-huh.
is some of that music sounded very much like there was a TV series
Uh-huh.
called, I think it was called the 3200 or something like that. It was about these people. And I'm wondering if do you know if your friend has ever done any music for like TV series or anything like that?
No, he hasn't. But
Okay.
I can tell you the way that the song came about, because it's one of those things. Chris and I, like I said, we've been friends since 1980. We never actually wrote together.
Okay.
Even though we made a record together years ago and had some songs of his and some, but we never really wrote together. It was just one of those things that didn't happen. I wrote the basics of the music track that were there, and I had written a set of lyrics for it, and I was like, because the sounds are a little trippy, and I
Right.
do
Yeah.
that. I did some of the synthesizers on there and the processed guitar and stuff like that. I like that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I guess my lyric writing tends to be more grounded.
Okay.
And so I wrote one set of lyrics. I was like, nah, no good. Wrote another set of lyrics. Nah, I don't like these either. So, but I really liked where the track was going.
Yeah.
So I sent it down to, a copy of it down to Chris in Florida.
Right.
And I said, I'm not getting anywhere with this. And I said, but it seems like a really good idea. I like where it's going.
Uh-huh.
And oddly enough, it did have sort of a dreamy kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Chris expanded on it, changed the melody somewhat, and we had been working with Dennis.
Right.
And so he said, this might be a good one for Dennis to sing. I was like, I'll ask him.
Uh-huh.
And of course, Dennis game, because that's how Dennis is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he ended up
Wow.
doing the lead vocals, and we did the harmonies. And
Mm.
so it was really nice to finally do something together.
Well, I have to tell you, and if I get the name of the episodes, that because it's no longer on, but the whole dreamy tone
Yeah.
is the same as the song for this series. That was an
Interesting.
excellent series, and I don't, it was
Right.
unfortunately, everything comes to an end, but it was fantastic.
Well, what you find, it's like when you hear a band that sounds Beatlesque,
Right.
You had to be living under a rock not to have experienced the Beatles when they were happening, and even
Right.
for years afterwards. You could be a lot younger and still be
And
very
still,
aware of them.
yes.
But if you go into listening to the early Beatles stuff, you can hear Buddy Holly and
Right, you can hear their-
and you can
yes,
hear
yeah.
and everybody is you take a little of everything that means something to you, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
when you're learning how to play, and you incorporate that. But no matter, even if you set out to I'm going to make a Beatles track, it may have some Beatles things in it, but it's going to end up having some of you in it too.
Right.
And it's not going to sound exactly like the Beatles.
Right.
You can really try very hard, but eventually it veers off somewhere.
Right.
And they did the same thing.
Right.
Here come old flat top, he come grooving up slowly. That's a Chuck Berry lyric.
Right. Yeah.
From
yeah.
You Can't Catch Me.
Yes. Yeah. It is amazing. It's true. I mean, you're going to be taking things that influenced you and then transforming it into what
Throw them into your own blender.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah. No, that was beautiful. I liked it. What was interesting is the beginning part
Right.
had a very Irish kind of tone sound, like what you would get from,
Well, it's funny because it's backwards guitar, but at the same time, you're right. It has somewhere in there. There's a little bit of Celtic, and that's I'm Irish, so there you go.
I guess that makes sense, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It
was great. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah, that's what we, around the house when I was a kid, Clancy Brothers and stuff like
Oh,
that.
oh, really?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
See,
Oh, yeah.
see, I didn't realize that. Oh,
Sure.
see.
Clancy Brothers and a lot of other. My father My grandfather played accordion and did all the Irish songs and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
all
sure.
right. Oh, okay. So you had a musical
Yeah, you know,
family,
kind of, sort of,
Oh,
yeah.
Good. Wow.
Yeah.
And now, anybody else in your family play?
My sister plays. My older brother played for a little while, and he didn't really stick with it. So that was kind of. My mom played a little bit of piano. My father got sick when I was very young, so I had never really heard him. But supposedly he played piano and violin.
Oh, wow.
And my grandfather played the fiddle and accordion. So.
Wow. Now, were they self-taught or?
I'm sure my grandfather and my father were, yeah.
Okay,
And
all right.
my mom, I'm not sure if she ever had any lessons. My grandmother also, on my mother's side, also played violin.
Mhm.
And she was, I remember, I actually have her violin, which was made in the 1700s.
Oh my gosh!
You know,
Oh
yeah.
wow! Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool to have.
Wow.
And my daughter plays violin, but she had no interest in playing her great-grandmother's violin. She has her own. Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's
Yeah.
got a sometimes, as you know, I'm sure, instruments speak to you.
Oh, yeah. Or they don't.
Or they don't, right? The sound just really.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can understand
That's
that.
how it was with this guy.
See, yeah,
You know,
Blondie.
Blondie, I played this guitar in the music store for about a year, and finally it wasn't selling, and I could never understand why, but it went on sale because they couldn't move it.
Wow.
Yeah,
It was meant to be yours.
I guess so.
See, yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah,
So
yeah, not for
I'm,
me.
I'm a full believer. I'm a little nuts. So what can I tell you? So
All I know is it's been very good to me. So
Yeah.
this guitar has a bunch of songs in it.
right,
You know.
memories, everything in it.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had this one. I have an old Guild guitar that I've had for 35 years. That guitar really has a lot of history, but this one I've had about 10 years now. So,
Okay, well, it's still a lot of history.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a very personal thing.
Yes, it is.
You
yes,
put
it
a lot.
is.
You put a lot of your.
Yeah,
energy
absolutely,
into
absolutely.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why when because I am a medium,
Mhm.
and I have that ability, and that's why it's very interesting when people say, if you pick up something. Let's say I was to pick up a guitar,
Right.
there is so much that that's left behind. I don't know how you want to call it. That you can feel. I actually did one time. I went into it was a B&B, but we were walking through the rooms, and there was a bed, and the bedposts and all that, and then there was some furniture in there, and I just happened to lay my hand down on one of the pieces of furniture, and with that, I looked at the woman and I said, "This piece of furniture was handed down to you." I said, "This came from," and all of a sudden I started going into a reading just from touching that,
Oh.
and so it is, your soul kind of, I don't know, attaches to something that really,
Well,
means
especially
so
something
much.
that you put that much of
Exactly.
your emotional.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Being into. I guess that makes a certain
Yeah.
amount of sense.
Yes.
I know every once in a while I got one of my guitars. I have a lot of guitars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But one of the guitars that I have has a very long and unusual history. And that guitar, it would take an hour to explain it, but I'll give you the long and the short of it is the guy who owned it ran a brothel.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh.
So we talk about a guitar that has some different karma to it.
Yeah. I can only imagine when you sit down behind that guitar. Wow, what comes up?
And it's got some kind of funk and mojo to it.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. Well, it's true. I mean, I want to say a part of your personality really does incorporate into something, because thinking back on that, I bet you that piece of furniture was also handed down to the person, and that's why it was so important to them.
Sure.
So.
Why is it that sometimes, people will squabble, when things are being inherited
Right.
over, that chair
Right.
or this or
Right.
that thing.
Right.
It means something to them, and it's just an old chair, but
Right.
it's not just an old chair to you.
That's right. Well, yeah, that's exactly it. You know, and it's memories, and it's
Right.
you know, but it also
That's the chair my mom used to rock
That's
me when I was a
exactly
baby,
right.
you
That's
know,
right.
that kind of
Yes.
thing.
Yep. Yep. Oh yeah. No, it definitely. You know, so it's interesting, and then of course you know you talk about the flip side of that too, where you know you have bad things attaching themselves, and that you
Yeah.
you know. We won't go into that. We want to stay on a positive note.
Sounds good to me.
But anyway, so I want to thank you so much
Well, thanks
for
having me.
joining me tonight. And please, anything that you're doing, let me know. Oh, I do want to know, are you going to catch Chez's...
The Halloween party?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be there.
All right! I'm going to be there.
Oh.
Will they know who you are?
Kind of hard to admit.
Well, if you're dressed up.
Yeah.
Are you wearing a costume? Oh, you have
probably
to.
will, yeah.
You have to. I'll bring a mask for you. How about that? You want me to bring you some? You don't have
I'll come up with something.
You'll come up with.
Well, I can't reuse last year's. That was too much.
Uh-oh. What was it?
Scarecrow from the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, that's. Oh, yeah. That's a good one for you. Wow, that's a perfect
Yeah,
one.
but it's, you know.
Yeah. See, he's gonna know who I am, no matter how I dress, because I'm gonna be the shortest one in the room.
I'm probably
Pretty
one of
much
the
right.
taller ones in the room. So there you go.
There you go. That's right. Well, anyway, thank you so much, and you know, anytime you want to come on, anything that you want to promote, please feel free. Love
Well,
it.
the next thing we'll be promoting, I think, is when Don's record
That's
drops.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which I'm really excited about. I mean, I did some work on that with him too, and it really is going to be.
Well, I'll get the both
wonderful
of you,
record.
you know, on together
Yeah.
that night. That would be great. You know, I would love it. Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, and I'll see you next weekend.
Cool.
All right.
All right then.
Thank you.
So we say goodbye.
Bye.
Man, what happened to you? Did you have an accident or something?
Hi, how are you, sir?
I'm okay.
I have
Better than you.
Well, I don't look good. Madame de Voodoo, I should listen to. It's my fault. Madame de Voodoo, you're gonna see her, right?
Yeah.
Listen to her because I should have listened to her. She said I was gonna have an accident, and I surely did. But I didn't believe her. Maybe that was why, because I didn't believe. So if you believe, then it's better.
Oh, okay.
You gonna see her?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I was planning on it.
She. Excuse me. I can't help it. Look at me. I'm a wreck.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
That's why I'm here now, because she give me good news. I'd be happy. And then maybe I could someday be like you, a gentleman. Nice hat and everything. Look at me! Look at me! Be a believer! Be a believer! I'm a believer! You're a believer! And I know. Whatever that song goes. Remember that one? The Monkeys.
The Monkeys.
Oh, I know! Oh, my dad! Oh, God!
Yeah, you're gonna be all right.
I think so. So you're gonna see her?
Yeah, I think so.
She's good. She's very good. Believe in her. Everything that she says, walk 3 steps, you walk 3. 1, 2, 1, 3.
Okay. All right. I got it.
I'm gonna pray for you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I can see what it's done for you.
I'm okay. I'm good. That's why I'm here. I'm gonna see her again. She's gonna give me good news this time. I hope. And everything will be fine. I believe it. So you're gonna see her?
What if she gives you bad news?
She can't give me enough. How bad could this be? What would I be in a?
I don't know. I
don't
don't
wanna
think
be-
I want to find out.
I don't want to. I don't want to be down there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I'm sorry. I'm getting a little nervous. I just when the voodoo is the who is her. She's the one.
she's the. Okay.
Madame de Voodoo.
Yes.
The voodoo.
Okay.
The voodoo.
All right.
The voodoo. Oh, I chant her name now because I get good luck that way. Madame de Voodoo, Madame de Voodoo. That helps. You gonna see her now?
Yeah, I guess.
I pray for you. Go ahead, go see her.
Thanks.
Good luck. I'm next.
Okay. Thank you.
Anytime.
Come in. Have a seat. My name is Madame de Voodoo to you. And don't say a word. The ball is speaking to me. It has many things to say about you. And all is good. I can tell you have come to find out about your music career.
How'd you know that?
The ball knows all. It tells me you're a very good songwriter. You've written many songs.
Yeah.
And it also says that you sing beautifully.
Okay.
And it tells me you're going to make lots of money and fortune and fame. I see it all in lights for you. It's marvelous, And I see. Oh, I don't know. I don't think this should be showing me this part. Woohoo! Do you really want to know that part?
Yeah, I guess.
I think we'll save it for the next meeting. And it's only $500, you know. You'll be able to afford it. Yeah, you're gonna be rich and famous. And what is that you have with you?
It's, my guitar.
Oh, does she sing?
When I ask her to.
Oh, I would like to hear her sing. Could you sing for me?
Sure. I guess. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love.
Oh, that was marvelous. I think I have a crush on you. I think I'm gonna be your first fan. Oh.
Okay.
Oh, I could listen to you all day long. Oh, but the ball tells me that I should wait. Oh, I don't know. Please, could I get another song?
Okay.
Oh,
What kind of music do you like?
well, I'd like to hear one from your CD. I know, the ball told me. Oh.
Okay.
can't put my finger on. Comes and goes from where I came to say. It's here and gone in an hour, week, a day. It's a mysterious little bird. I watch her fly away, and if I tried to hold her down, put her in a cage, train her to do tricks for me, she'd surely fly away. 'Cause it's just not in her nature to be anything but free, and I'll try hard to remember that she made no promises to me. She doesn't have a name, at least not one she'll tell. She gives me clues and points the way, but lets me go myself. She won't reveal her reasons for how she picks the hour to visit herself on me. She keeps her secrets to herself, and if I tried to hold her down, put her in a cage, train her to do tricks for me, she'd surely fly away. 'Cause it's just not in her nature to be anything but free, and I'll try hard to remember that she made no promises to me.
Oh, that was beautiful. Oh, my goodness.
Thank you very much.
Oh, well, I don't think I can take much more. I will tell you this. Next time you come to see me, you don't pay a thing. I can't tell you how much I love that. Oh, so go and be well and sing your heart out, because you're gonna be rich and famous, and you're gonna love what you do.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. Chris Bolger. I know, the ball told me.
Nice ball. Cool.
Oh, what'd she say? What'd she say?
She said I'm gonna have a great career in music, that I'm gonna be rich and famous, and I'm gonna be successful as a singer-songwriter.
She said you were gonna be rich and famous? And you're gonna be rich
Yeah,
and famous?
yeah, and she said I don't even have to pay her anymore.
She said that?
Yeah.
That's not fair. I paid her 500 smackaroos. That's a lot
You
of
got
money.
smackarooed.
Hey, listen, congratulations and everything like that. And
Yeah,
I
thanks,
appreciate
man.
you and everything.
Yeah. Good luck.
yeah.
Maybe she'll have good news for you this time.
I hope so. I hope. Wow. All I have to do is sing to her.
And for your entertainment, I'd like to introduce Frank Moshmans.
Good evening. My name is Frank Moshman, and I recently had a colonoscopy. Now that I had that experience, I want to share with you my inside view of things. Now, the night before the procedure, you're supposed to drink this liquid laxative prep to clean out your system. I wasn't 100% sure that it would work, so 2 weeks before the procedure, I gave it a dry run. In fact, the night before the procedure, I kept jumping up and down. I forgot to shake the Miralax bottle. I came up with a New Year's resolution to create my own colonoscopy drink. I'm calling it Bottoms Up. In fact, the night before the procedure, my girlfriend and I kept fighting to use the toilet. I said, Linda, I told you we should not have scheduled a colonoscopy on the same day. I had my procedure done at an endoscopy center, and going there was not much different than going to a spa. You get a locker, you get undressed, you put on a robe, you fall asleep, you wake up refreshed, then you have a nice meal. In fact, Linda and we had our procedure done on Valentine's Day, and we took advantage of a his and hers colonoscopy special. I always thought that a colonoscopy was a safe procedure, but I have to admit, I started to have some doubts. When I was in the waiting area, they only played 2 songs in the background, Stairway to Heaven and another one, Bites the Dust. Now, thank God the doctor did not find any polyps, but he did find 6 bottles of Pepto-Bismol. My doctor gave me a very thorough report, which included 5 photos of my colon. And next week, I'm posting it on Facebook. I wonder what Cambridge Analytica will do with that information. Maybe they'll figure out who I vote for. The report also says, because we put air in your colon during the procedure, expelling lots of air from the rectum is normal. Why can't they be more direct? You are going to fart for 48 hours. The report also says, my bowel preparation was excellent. Like, wow, I got an A+. Linda, she only got a B. I chose a very experienced doctor. He performs over 1,000 colonoscopies per year. I guess he's seen all kinds of a-holes. Well, at least doesn't sit in his butt all day. I have to admit, I was very upset. I wanted to pay with credit, and they said no. I said, why not? They told me my account is in arrears. So, to sum things up, I got totally cleaned out. My doctor, he totally cleaned up. And I can't tell you how happy I am. I can finally take this experience and put it behind me. Now, I'm going to switch to mental health. And everybody tells me I'm a hypochondriac. And that makes me sick. I seem to be allergic to everything. I'm even allergic to myself. Every time I look in the mirror, I get hives. I tried going into a psychiatrist, but all she can say is, Frank, don't worry. Take 2 placebos and pretend to call me in the morning. I change my mind all the time. Problem is, the second mind is no better than the first. My friend said, Frank, I can read you like a book. Well, that sounded great until he told me the name of the book, The Idiot's Guide to Self-Image Psychology. I had trouble sleeping. So first I tried counting sheep. That didn't work. Then I tried shooting at the sheep. Well, the noise kept me up all night. Then I went for broke and started counting Bitcoin. Well, that didn't work either. I went out of my crypto stash. I got bitten by a turtle. I was slow to react. Turned out, I was shell-shocked. I was afraid to pass gas on an airplane. Thought I might cause a natural gas explosion. There's a study that says most accidents occur in the privacy of your own home. So I moved. I carry Preparation H with me all the time. I'm not really sure why. Preparation A through G didn't help me much either. I take my blood pressure so often, my blood pressure machine almost had a stroke. In fact, the first time I took my blood pressure, I didn't know what to do. So I put the cuff around my neck. I almost choked to death. I went to the doctor to lower my blood pressure, but then it skyrocketed. Once I saw the bill, I entered this medical spelling bee. And what words do I get? Neurotic, obsessive compulsive, and hypochondriac. And I won. And what's the prize? A blood pressure machine. Or I already have 5 of them. Took my temperature, 102 degrees. Tried Advil, 103 degrees. Tried a cold compress, 104 degrees. They went to the pharmacy, bought a new thermometer, 98.6. It turned out I created a new disease, broken thermometer syndrome. Even my doctor couldn't diagnose it. No, I've always been afraid of flying, speaking of being afraid of things. And sometimes I realize airfares are so expensive. And sometimes I wish I was a politician because I could always get free trips because I can keep building up frequent flyer miles. Now, speaking of airfares, have you ever actually tried to use a frequent flyer award? I have 25,000 miles on 3 different airlines. So I called the first airline. They said, you must have at least 50,000 miles. And I called the second airline. They said, yes, for 25,000 miles, you can fly LaGuardia to Charlotte 6 a.m., Charlotte to San Diego 10 a.m., and San Diego back to Minneapolis 8 p.m. Then I called the third airline. They said, yes, for 25,000 miles, you can fly LaGuardia to Minneapolis, leaving at 8 p.m. I'm thinking, this is great. But you have to take advantage of our APS program. What does APS stand for? Amateur Pilot Special. Oh, well, I guess you can't win with the airlines. Now, speaking of the airlines, aren't you just sick and tired of their fees? Now they charge you $30 to check in a bag. Well, they have something new called Basic Economy Fare. Me and Linda flew on Basic Economy Fare, and they actually wanted to charge her $50 to bring a bag on board and put in the overhead bin. Then they wanted $40 if you put something in the bag, and $20 for mixed drinks, seltzer and orange juice. Then they wanted $30 to sign us a seat, $10 if you sit together, and $50 for a seat inside the plane instead of on the wing. Now, speaking of the airlines, have you ever called the airlines or cable company, phone company, and you basically get nowhere? I'd like to share with you a 2-minute phone call I recently had with the airlines. Hello, my name is Pradeep Udhas from the call center in India. Welcome to Easy Dial Airlines. Please listen carefully as our menu options have recently changed. Press 1 if you'd like us to call you back in 4 hours. Press 2 if you want to speak to a robot. Press 3 if you want to use our easy voice recognition service. 3. Where are you leaving from? LaGuardia. Batavia. Is that correct? No. Sorry, my mistake. Where are you leaving from? LaGuardia. LaGuardia. Is that correct? Yes. Where are you going? Hawaii. How are you? I said I'm going to Hawaii. I am fine too. Where are you going? Honolulu, Hawaii. Honolulu, Hawaii. Is that correct? Yes. Using the telephone keypad, enter the 2-digit month, day, and year that you will be leaving. 112119. November 21st, 2019. Is that correct? Yes. Using the telephone keypad, enter the 2-digit month, day, and year that you'll be returning. 114119. November 41st, 2019. Is that correct? Yes. Press 1 if you are gluten-free. 1. Press 2 if you are vegan. Press 3 if you'd rather starve than eat airline food. 3. Are you traveling on business or leisure? None of your business. Sorry, I did not get that. Leisure. What terminal do you want to leave from? I don't care what terminal I leave from. Just get me there safely. Do I understand correctly? You want to be safely terminated.
Well, I want to thank you again so much for coming out. I know the weather has been really crazy lately. 1 minute it's snowing, next minute it's sleeting. But anyway, you made it here safely, and I want to thank you. I want to introduce Frank Moshmans, and actually this is my first time really seeing you work, which was fantastic. And I have to say, the material that you do is original.
Oh, yes.
But I do want to ask you, so how did you get started and how many years ago did you get started in the business?
About 2.5 years ago, I started doing stand-up.
Really?
And
Wow.
how? I don't know. I was at this bookstore, we're a very intimate area,
Okay.
and I watched people do it, and I said, oh, maybe I could try it. And ever since I did it the first time,
Really?
I just loved it.
Okay. I mean, so many comedians start when they're very young.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody obviously influenced them. And so you really didn't have that. It's not like you had a particular comedian that you absolutely, adored and wanted to follow in footsteps of.
No, not really.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so 2.5 years ago. Wow. And you play, or you do a lot of gigs in different areas from?
Well, when I go on vacation, I like to perform.
Oh.
For sure. Love to perform on vacation.
All right. And have you done like a lot of, let's say, nursing homes and gone around like that and done any kind of performing there?
It's mainly open mics.
Open mics, okay. All right.
I also was on the Mr. Phil show in his studio 3 times.
Okay.
I did a telethon for him.
So let me just, I have a couple of questions,
Yeah, of course.
more questions that I wrote down because I said, well, I don't want to forget.
Yeah, I once went to a Beacon Sloop Club meeting and I performed there.
Oh,
It's
did
like
you
a
really?
non-profit group.
Oh, my
liked it.
father-in-law used to be part of the Beacon
Oh, really?
Sloop Club. Yeah.
They like me a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I bet they did. That's a perfect.
Yeah.
So let me just see. Do you remember where and when was your first stand-up?
Yes.
You do. Okay.
It was my 18-year anniversary with Linda.
Okay.
So I did a couple jokes, of course, about.
Oh. She must have loved that.
Only good things.
Oh, that's great. Okay. And where was it?
It was in Washington Heights at a little bookstore called
Oh.
Word Up.
Oh, okay. I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Oh, funny. That's great. And then, is it? Have you found? Is it important to know your audience? Like does age categories or any of that come into play?
Most of my material has people have laughed at of all ages.
Okay.
For the most part. Like maybe my corporate routine wasn't good for a college crowd,
Right. Okay.
but most of my stuff,
It-
just about
it
everybody
covers-
laughs.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's a
from my
wide.
experience, and that's why I like it that way.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to go. Okay. What advice would you give to somebody just starting out?
Wow, I'm sure I could use a lot too. Oh, start at a small venue, go to
Right.
open mics,
Okay, that
just
makes sense.
practice, even do the same routine over and over.
Right. Well, that's practice makes perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to, get into some professional, more professional clubs than I have. I'm not really pushing it,
Right.
and how do you do it? It's probably different for everybody.
Right.
Everyone gets their big chance.
Right. Right.
Got to be seen by the right person, and
That's right.
That's-
Timing is everything.
that's how I've gotten some of my opportunities
Opportun-
outside open mics.
Right. Oh, that's good. That's a good answer. And do you have a favorite stand-up comedian?
Oh boy, there's a couple. I mean, I love Hetty Youngman. He's
Oh,
hysterical.
yes, yeah.
John Panette.
Okay.
He makes fun of him. He used to be very heavy set, and he makes fun of himself. He's really funny.
Okay. All right.
Jeff Foxworthy and Vicky Shore have hysterical colonoscopy routines online. I
Oh,
just
I'll have to check
love
that
them.
out. Oh, good. Okay.
Gibran Saline, Mike Gaffney are pretty funny.
Oh.
I like the clean comedians.
Right.
I don't really. The ones that just curse, not my style.
Right.
But
Right.
just-
Yeah.
I
yeah.
just don't find him funny. Jay
Right.
Leno, I love probably the late night people. He's always been my favorite.
Right. Right. Jay Leno is okay.
Hysterical.
All right. And how has comedy changed you since you first started doing it? Have you noticed any changes in yourself?
I'm probably less shy. I
Okay.
used to always be shy. In fact, when I told people I did stand-up comedy, no one could believe it. And then they said, "Wow, he's really funny."
That's great. See, that's why I like to ask these questions because, like I honestly, I just figured this was something that you were doing since you were a little boy, I never would have guessed that you started doing this 2.5 years ago because your delivery is really good. Your stuff is really your content is good. So that's why I like to ask these questions. Great. Well, I just want to say again, thank you,
Sure.
Frank, for joining me. Tell everybody your name again and
Frank Moshman.
thank you. And if they want to get in touch with you,
Email, I guess.
email. Okay.
Oh, Moshmanf. That's my last name. MOSHMANF @yahoo.com.
Excellent. All right. Well, want to say goodbye to everybody?
Oh,
Thank you for
Yeah.
joining us.
yeah, thank you.